Vinceville Custom. So today I'm sharing with you a finished paint up of this Thundra garage kit. Now I did do a review on this a little while ago. It was sculpted by AVAY Sculptor. I think that's who it is. I always get that mixed up. Basically I had a chance just to kind of work on this along with a bunch of other items, and I got her finished up. There was a little bit of a hiccup here and there on her. We'll kind of go over that, but it's a really good looking statue and pose. I do like the way you know what it is I like this one because it's got a lot of attitude to her, and she's kind of a museum pose, and that's kind of what I like. I wish we would see more stuff like this where you don't always have to look at the front of the statue. You can have her turned in an angle where you see the back of the character, but you can still look at her in like this angle and it works, and then if you want to do more of this angle, it works pretty well for her because she's kind of like, I guess you could say, a bruiser. I guess she's like She-Hulk villain. And basically it's really well done. Nice anatomy on her. It's got nice sexiness to it. So it was a lot of fun painting up. But we did have a couple hiccups. We'll go over that now. We'll kind of explain what happened and how we also had a happy mistake on this item. So let's get in a little bit closer. Now, she may look a little bit like dulled down or toned down. That's because with the paint up, I suggested let's try something a little bit different with her. Instead of like, you know, your typical just bright paints and make her look like she stepped out of a comic book, we did a little bit of texturizing with some paints, and we gave her more of like a leathery look, and I think it works better. I just wish that, the only thing I kind of wish after painting her up is I kind of wish that they would have done a stitching of this stuff onto her and made the actual outfit more leather-like. I think that will look really, really cool with the item. It would have really looked kind of cool and pop out a little bit more. But we'll kind of go over everything. So one of the main things too with putting her together is this is a 1/4 scale, but she's kind of scaled up to be like a taller of 1/4 scale characters. It was a hollow printed item. So I filled it up with foam, and it's a little bit weird of having a light item because if the person I did it for didn't want to really fill it up because it would have cost a lot more money. So we just kind of did foam on it. But it's a little bit weird handling something very, very light. But I filled it with foam. I attached everything, and it worked out pretty well. It's just the base is like solid, but we'll kind of get that. So once I pretty much got her done, the first thing that we came across was, before we get to the hair issues, is this issue here. So there was a printed chain that goes, like, clicks into her arm, and then it goes down to the mallet, I guess you could say, or mace, or whatever you want to call this. And what happened is when the chain came down, I guess the way either the chain warped in printing or maybe in shipping it kind of bent. Maybe because when I got the item, and then when I tried to put the chain connecting to over here on this piece there, it just wasn't connecting. And then I had a lot of trouble of getting the item in her hand right here. I had a lot of trouble getting this in here. So what happened is I came up with an idea where, like, okay, well, when the chain goes in there, I'll magnetize this hand so it kind of locks it in place. And I got it to work, but the problem was the chain never hit there. So I talked to the client, and I said, why don't we just kind of axe the chain and we put a real chain on? So he said, yeah, let's do it. So I went through my parts, and I found a chain, but the problem was it wasn't a metal chain. It was like a plastic chain. So when I wrapped it around here and I put it there, I was like, how am I going to get this to wrap around there? I was like, I don't know how it's going to work. So I went through my box of parts, and I found a different chain, and I said, okay, let me try this. And then when I put the chain over here, because I already had the magnet in, the chain actually stuck to the magnet. And I was like, oh crap. I go, this is going to work out perfect. So literally, this wraps around her hand perfectly because this is actually a steel chain, and it magnetizes to the magnet in here, and then basically it works out perfect. So the only downside is over time, or if you're not careful, like if you're not careful with maneuvering this chain, you could scrape the paint. But honestly, it's really not that bad to the point where the magnet is so strong it's like pulling it. But the cool thing is, you know, we have this mace piece like this. You just put here, and then basically you can just take it and you can just wrap it around any which way you want to do it. And it just wraps around like so. And you got a chain. So if you want to keep wrapping all the way around, if you want to let it down, but it works out pretty good. So it's kind of like a happy mistake. So if you guys get this kit, whether, I guess if you get it printed out as a 1/6 scale or 1/4 scale, if you work out a magnet in here and you get yourself a nice metal chain, it'll work out perfect for you. So just something to keep in mind. Like, that's what I always tell people. Whenever you get garage kits or, you know, pre-painted kits or whatever, and you're having issues with them or you want to do something a little different, don't be afraid to take a part away that came with it and get something else to work with it, and it could kind of work. So, with that being said, let's get on to the hair. Now, I was doing some live streams of painting her and working on her, and we came across a part. This is going to be fixed, though. The sculptor is going to fix this item, so the person who is producing it, and if you get one, you'll have a better situation than what I had. So this is kind of like almost like the prototype paint up in a way. So what happened is the head is printed with the skull, and the hair is cut with two pieces, and they don't connect. And I think what happened is whoever cut it must have cut out like 5 millimeters of in between the hair. So when you put it on the head, it doesn't connect correctly. What should have happened is the head should have been cut at an angle, and the hair should have clicked into the like a piece like that. So supposedly that's all going to be sort of corrected, but of course with me I had to kind of take a little extra step. So the way they do is they cut it back here, they cut it right down the center down here. So I had to sort of kind of rebuild this hair and get it all situated. But going forward, I think what's going to happen is if you get a kit or you want to pick one up, it'll be corrected for you. So basically you'll have like this headpiece sort of just clicks into the head with one hair that's printed solid. And that's the way it should be. So if anyone's ever going to produce a kit, or if you're a sculptor and you're sculpting, don't cut hair against the grain. Always try to make it so like the hair piece is printed separately and clicks into the head at an angle. You never really want to cut down straight down apart, because not everybody who builds kits will be able to re-sculpt this to get it as perfect as they can or close to the original sculpt. Just because you think that maybe it connects, it's going to be fine, it's going to cause more problems, especially new people in the hobby. So if you're making kits or STLs and you want to sell more, always consider the person building it. That's kind of just some advice, especially new people to the hobby who might get the kit and they're going to bitch about it and they're going to say, well, I'm never going to pick up another item from that sculptor because they didn't cut it correctly or it made more work. So just keep that in mind. I'm not trying to bitch about it or put anyone down. It's just that, you know, you got to, like, if you're just sculpting, try to like print out the item too and then paint it as well as an experiment, and you might be like, okay, I need to kind of correct this so it's easier to paint. Just one little bit of advice. You know, like the waist over here was cut correctly. Kind of go down a little bit further. So it was cut at the waist here, which was good. The only problem though is the way it was cut. It was kind of like cut at an angle, so I had to kind of rebuild some like flesh around here. So that was a little bit of an issue. But it was cut at the wrist there, and it was cut at the hand, so that was good. And it was also cut at the feet. So like all the cuts were good except the hair. I think that was the only downfall of this kit. And other than that, the base was a little bit tricky, of course, because the base came in 4 pieces. So the base was cut here and it was cut there, and it was this is all solid resin, but I think going forward, I think they're going to hollow cast it to kind of save on like weight, because this is so heavy and she's so light, it's kind of, it's a lot. So I had to do a lot of work to kind of cut this all up and put rods in there and rebuild all this and get it even. So this was a lot of work to kind of get this situated too. So that's another thing. You know, I think instead of cutting the base like perfectly along the item, I think sometimes like as in a sculptor, if you're going to do it, see if you could kind of like create cracks where you cut it with the cracks. You know what I'm saying? Like if the crack is coming this way, cut it around here and then maybe cut this piece so you have like different pieces connect and it works. Whenever you cut down your textures, that causes more problems too for people, especially who don't build kits and everything. So it's a little bit tricky. Like if you look closely, and you could, like if you look really, really close, you could see kind of where I cut them, but I had to rebuild it as best as I could, and I kind of sort of created little cracks around those areas. But going forward, it should be pretty good. And other than that, like I said, so as far as paint work goes, basically I've been mixing up different skin tones for different companies, working out different types of skins and everything, because, you know, Garage Kits is long gone, so I'm kind of working out new things. I actually had to paint her eyes, which actually worked out very well. I tried eye decals on her, but they just were not working because she's kind of looking in this direction. So it took me about a good like hour or two just to kind of get those eyes like looking really good, but they worked out. I think what it is I can usually sort of paint eyes when I have bigger sections to do it like this, but when it's a very smaller item, it's very hard for me to kind of paint eyes in there, so I kind of like to use the eye decals, but with something bigger like this, it's a little bit easier, so that worked out pretty good. And I gave her a lot of different like blush and lipstick and stuff, made her a little sexy looking. I mean, even though she's a bruiser, she doesn't have to be like plain. Now for her hair, she is a redhead, but we kind of did a little bit of a strawberry redhead. I painted this all blonde hair first, and then what I did is I kind of went over it with orange layering, but lightly, and that's kind of what I came up with the redhead for her, because I figured a lot of the artwork I saw of her online, she's either blonde, or she's like orange hair like this, or she's like deep orange hair. So I said, look, kind of like, let's do the mix between, because she has such a dark outfit, and she's got this yellow bolt. I figured if we went really, really orange, it would kind of fight with her outfit. So we kind of went with, I guess, like strawberry redhead blonde, or so whatever you want to call it. It's a little bit lighter, and I think it works out for her a little bit better, and I really, really like it. I think we captured the one error from her from, I think it was the 70s or 80s. Like, kind of like the way they colored her hair then, I think. I don't know. But as far as her outfit goes, like when I suggested, I said, let's kind of do like texture on her outfit. Oh, the camera's not working like it used to, but I kind of did like textured, so I basically, you know, masked her all off, and I did textured of mahogany red with the bright red, and I kind of went in with like in a lot of areas, and I gave her like this, it's a little bit more leather looking, and it works good for her, because when we come down here, the way it's kind of like on her, the way these wrinkles, and I like the way these wrinkles are around her knees and everything, it feels like that leathery type of look, and it worked out pretty well. And then we sort of did the same thing with her bolts. Instead of just doing like these bright yellow bolts, just like, you know, in your face, we kind of dulled them down with the texture, and it worked out pretty good. Then I said, well, let's not do the boots the same color. Like, let's kind of, you know, give her darker leathery boots, because this way her outfit will pop out a little bit more, even though we kind of dulled it down. And then the boots would kind of be like almost realistic, like, you know, instead of having that bright yellow, you know, in-your-face yellow boots, this is kind of what we came up with, and it worked out pretty well. And then the base, I kind of just did like a street, sort of like Rocky type base, gave this, you know, a mace mallet, kind of like a metallic, stained, old bruiser type thing, and then that's pretty much it. I mean, it worked out pretty well. Really good kit. I do like this character design a lot. I always wanted to do versions. I think I did a custom of her back in the day. I might have. I don't remember. Maybe not. But I always did like this design of her. It's got a really cool, like, you know, little bit of a design, the way it's kind of like, it goes around her, you know, chest, but then it kind of fills up the one arm, but it doesn't fill up the other arm. It's a really cool design. I always say the old school character designs from the 70s, 80s are always really cool comic book designs, whereas the new ones are kind of I always just kind of like the way this stuff, because you could just see these abs on her, and it just pops a little bit. But other than that, that is it. So if you guys do need information about getting your hands on one of these, let me know. I can send you to going, like I said, I think there's 1 6 scale and 1 4 scales on these. The person who printed it is Nick from Nick's 3D Dimensions. That is his information right there. You could probably contact him as well to see if you want a kit. So like I said, I think the hair is going to be corrected going forward. And anyone who is going to get the kit, if you feel, you know, like, I don't want to deal with the chain, you can always tell the person that you're buying the kit from, don't print out the chain. I'm going to go find my own chain at, like, you know, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, you know, maybe even Walmart's got metal chains. What you do is go to one of these stores, bring a magnet with you, or even like a kitchen magnet on your refrigerator, and just go to like the chain area and see if they magnetize. And if one chain magnetizes, you like the look, buy it, and then boom, you could hook it up this way like I did with the magnet in there, and then you're good to go. The only thing is, the last little thing I suggest, though, if you do this, if you go toward the mallet like what I did, so this mace mallet, what I did is, after I painted it all up, I drilled in a hole, I put some glue in there, and I put in the chain into there with little dabs of glue, and then I filled it with A's and I touched it up again, so this is in there for good, and I don't have to worry about this falling out. You could set it up other ways if you want, but like I said, this little round piece is connected to the sculpted chain, so I just cut that off and I glued this in, so keep that in mind. So that's a little bit of a tip if you kind of get this and you want to go this chain route. And if you do it, you're more than welcome to contact me through my website, or I do my live streams. I can always kind of tell you how I do it or what kind of stuff I do, and kind of walk you through a little bit if you need some help. But other than that, that is Thundra. Really good sculpt, a lot of fun painting up. And let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos.